It was filed on Friday by attorney at law Bert Samuels on behalf of Professor of Caribbean Political Philosophy, Culture and Aesthetics Clinton Hutton. The action follows the sentencing of O'Shawn Grant in the St. James Parish Court on April 24 this year after he pleaded guilty to practicing obeah. He was ordered to pay a fine of $5,000 or spend 5 days in jail. According to Mr. Samuels, the 1898 Act is an affront and abridgment of the right to religious practices.
Friday the 16th of May, we filed an action in the Supreme Court to challenge the obeah Act as being unconstitutional and in breach of 12 breaches of our Constitution, the right of persons to practice their religious and their spiritual beliefs without hindrance and without being treated as criminals and sent to prison.
Mr. Samuels, who spoke on the Africa Forum with host Kabu Madkaru this morning, said an examination of the 2011 Charter of Rights revealed 12 breaches of the Constitution. He says Professor Hutton points out that obeah is a religion brought from Africa, and Section 17 of the Jamaican Constitution says everyone has a right to practice their religious beliefs.
For over a century and a half, the law has been on the books that to practice obeah is a criminal offense. It is the only religion that has been made a criminal offense in Jamaica. So that by itself is one of the breaches of the Constitution. That is the right of everyone to practice their religious beliefs. 1. 2, we said that there is no equality in the law. The obeah man has to be hiding between rocks and crevices to practice his fortune telling. Mm-hmm. So we say that there is a clause in the Constitution that says we should have equality before the law. 3, the other one is that if you go to the obeah man, if you consult with him, you yourself, his membership, his clientele, is guilty of a criminal offense. And therefore, there is a clause in the Constitution that gives you freedom of association. We should not be prevented from gathering and associating. So that's a breach of our freedom of association.
Mr. Samuels is also raising concern about how persons are treated after they have served their sentence for practicing obeah.
In the obeah Act, unlike any other law in Jamaica, when you are through doing your sentence, they say that you must now come under supervision, police supervision. And we say, no, you already served your sentence, and therefore the presumption of innocence is abrogated by that particular clause. It's the only law in Jamaica that says when you've done your sentence, not even a rapist right now is under police supervision after he's through with his sentence. Mm-hmm. And that is a horrible consequence. Then they speak about the instruments of obeah. And we looked at other religions. Professor Clinton saying, listen, the Catholics have their cups. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church has its vessels that it swings with smokes emitting from it. And the chalice is part of Catholic worship, is the cup from which the blood of Jesus is in it. And it is drank as a sacrament. Those instruments are not criminal for other religions.
Attorney at law Bert Samuels, the claim will be served on the Attorney General tomorrow. A group of at least 40 Haitians landed at a beach in Ross Creek area of East Portland this morning. The group, which consisted of men, women and children, including a toddler, is being processed by the police. The Jamaica Defence Force was also on hand to support the police. IRFM News has learned that 7 of them have been taken to hospital. Among them is a woman said to be about 7 months pregnant. Restaurant owner Ewan Edwards said he offered to give the Haitians food and drinks as they appeared to have been hungry and dehydrated. He also gave an account of what he witnessed.
On my way to deliver some fish, and I saw the police, the soldiers and some Haitians. So I just pulled over to see what's happening. And then I saw like 6 or 7 men in a back of a police jeep. And then when I look, I saw one of the young men clutching a baby, no more than 2 or 3 years old. And honestly, my heart sunk immediately. So what I did, I told him I'm going to get something cold and refreshing for them to drink because, you know, they're probably there on the sea maybe 4 or 5 days, I don't know, maybe weeks.
Restaurant owner Ewan Edwards. Last October, a group of approximately 14 Haitians, including 5 women and a baby, landed at a beach in Kensington, Portland. 3 months earlier in July, a group of 35 Haitians also landed in Portland. The government repatriated a number of Haitians last year. Delana Sivright and Christian Tavares Finson have formally withdrawn their application to be selected as the party's candidate for North Central St. Andrew. The Central Executive of the Jamaica Labour Party was advised of the development during its meeting today. Member of the JLP's Communication Task Force, Abka Fitzhenley, says the withdrawal of the applications allows for a resetting of the process of finalising a candidate.
The party secretariat will now move to conduct a consultation with key stakeholders, including the executive and workers of the constituency, in the coming weeks as it restarts the process of finalizing a candidate for the constituency. The central executive accepted the decision of Messrs. Tavares, Finson and Sivright and noted that the two gentlemen are indeed valued members of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Member of the JLP's Communication Task Force, Abka Fitzhenley. The JLP says Senator Sivright and Mr. Tavares Finson further committed to having their supporters respect the party's rules and regulations and to act in the interest of party unity. North Central St. Andrew is represented in the House of Representatives by Carl Samuda. Mr. Samuda remains chairman of the constituency during the process of finalising a candidate. Human rights lobby group Jamaicans for Justice JFJ has joined in condemning the brutal murder of Corporal Kamal Main at his home in Old Harbour St. Catherine yesterday. In a release posted on its social media platform, JFJ said this heinous act is a grim reminder of the pervasive crime plaguing the nation and the immense risks faced by law enforcement officers in their service to protect Jamaican citizens. JFJ expressed its deepest condolences to Corporal Main's family, friends and colleagues. It then urged anyone with information about this crime to come forward and assist the authorities in bringing those responsible to justice. It also sought to reiterate its commitment to advocating for a society where the rule of law prevails and the rights of all citizens, including law enforcement officers, are protected. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has called for greater use of mobile justice units while reaffirming the government's commitment to ensuring access to justice for citizens, especially the disabled. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony for Justice of the Peace in St. Ann on Friday, Mr. Chuck explained that the buses are designed to improve outreach in areas where residents struggle to access legal support. He noted that the vehicles are fully equipped and staffed with workers who provide a range of legal services. He underscored that the initiative is not just about location, it's also about inclusion, particularly for the disabled community.
We know it is difficult for the disabled community to access information and to access the services of the Ministry of Justice. We have these legal aid buses, mobile buses, provided by Global Canada that is available to travel right across Jamaica so that every single citizen of Jamaica can get free legal advice. We have 3 of these buses and you just have to book them. There's no reason why anyone should not know what their legal rights and responsibilities are. So please make use of these buses, not only today, but you can book them in your community. Just give at least 4 weeks notice so we can put it in the schedule.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck. In news overseas, former U.S. President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with prostate cancer that has spread to his bones. The 82-year-old Biden was diagnosed on Friday after he saw a doctor last week for urinary symptoms. The cancer is a more aggressive form of the disease, characterized by a Gleason score of 9 out of 10. According to Cancer Research UK, this means his illness is classified as high grade and that the cancer cells could spread quickly. Biden and his family are set to be reviewing treatment options. The former president's office added that the cancer is hormone sensitive, meaning it can likely be managed. The news comes nearly a year after the former president was forced to drop out of the 2024 U.S. presidential election over concerns about his health and age. He's the oldest person to hold the office in the U.S. history. Biden, then the Democratic nominee vying for re-election, faced mounting criticism of his poor performance in a June televised debate against Republican nominee and current President Donald Trump. He was replaced as the Democratic candidate by his Vice President Kamala Harris. And to end this newscast, here's a recap of the main points. Claim filed in the Supreme Court challenging the Obia Act, and group of about 40 Haitians land at Portland Beach this morning. That's news brought to you by Island Airways Limited, Jamaica's best. News next at 6:45 tomorrow morning. From the RFM Newsroom, I am Natalie Campbell.